Namaste and welcome viewers to another brand new episode of Mirror Prime. Now they say road safety in India is a joke and road signs in India are like movie subtitles, mostly ignored and rarely followed. And on our show today, the focus is going to be on India's disastrous road safety standards, which are equally aided by bad drivers and even worse roads and in fact, completely absent traffic discipline. Let me give you an example. Two videos have gone viral in India this week. I'm sure you've seen both of these videos. One of a bus accident in Mumbai, 7 people were killed by an untrained driver. And the other of a surprise speed breaker in Dehradun that caused 7 accidents in just 15 minutes. At the Times Network India Economic Conclave 2024, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari painted a stark picture of India's road safety crisis. He admitted to a systematic shortcoming in road engineering, law enforcement, driver behavior, which has made India a global outlier as far as traffic fatalities are concerned. In fact, over 1.78 lakh deaths occur every single year in India because of accidents. What's more shocking is that 60,000 victims are aged between 18 and 34. Now, Gadkari did acknowledge the mistakes in road engineering and substandards DPRs, which are, of course, significant contributors in all these incidents. The minister also cited some efforts that the government is taking to tackle these issues. He says the government has allocated 40,000 crore rupees to fix accident-prone black spots. And also, his government has launched India's indigenous safety rating system, the Bharat NCAP, ensuring safer vehicles with 6 airbags. But is this enough? Are we doing enough to keep people safe on the roads in India? We pay many taxes. We pay toll taxes, we pay vehicle taxes, we pay environmental taxes. I can list 10 taxes that we pay. But do we get the standard of living that we pay taxes for? In fact, Gadkari did admit that his ministry has not achieved any success in reducing accidents in India. So when the union minister of the country says there's no success as far as road safety is concerned, where do you look? What's the hope? That's the big debate tonight. And joining us right now, Kushan Mitra, automotive journalist. In fact, he'll be joining us in a short while from now. Shailesh Sinha, the CEO of the Traffic People Foundation, joins us. Shailesh ji, I'll start with you now. Of course, 1.78 lakh deaths every single year. 60,000 of these victims are aged between 18 and 34. We talk a lot about pandemics, epidemics. This is an epidemic of its own. We are losing 1.78 lakh people every single year because of causes that can be very easily avoided. What's the solution?
See, I've always been advocating that this should be, in fact, the driving should be, consider into life skills. It should be properly educated, right? India is a country where we are seeing so much of accidents, which is so sad because it's not 1.78 lakh people dying on the roads. It's about 1.78 lakh families are seeing, their dreams vanished. I mean, the person who is dying is a dream for somebody. He's dreamed from himself, right? So the point is that there has to be a, concrete action taken by the governments. First of all, it needs to be brought in a life skill system. Number two, education has to be there. Accidents are just not happening because of only bad roads. It's happening because of the complete entire ecosystem that includes, lack of skill, irresponsible behavior, overconfidence, then, weather conditions. Then fifth is the animals coming on the road. And overall, this ecosystem is creating a ruckus that we are losing almost, 1.78 lakh is just number what is recorded. It's way beyond that because many number has not been in the records because of certain XYZ reasons. The point is the union minister is saying that he would be able to bring it down, but is not been able to. Reason is very, very, very simple. We are not responsible when it comes to our road behavior. We are not responsible when it comes to road hygiene. It is all a conglomerative, effect which is happening in India, and we are losing so many people on the roads. And it's not only people. I again say it's family, it's dreams we are losing on the road.
All right. Also joining us right now is Kushan Mitra, automotive journalist. Kushan, I was just talking about the data that Mr. Gadkari was talking about today. 1.78 lakh people dying every single year. 60,000 people aged between 18 and 34, and these are just official numbers. We are not sure what the real number even is. What exactly is the reason? Is it bad driving? Is it bad roads? Is it bad traffic discipline, lane discipline, or is it a combination of everything and it's a complete systematic collapse that we're looking on India's roads today?
No, it's not just a systematic collapse. I think the government also has see, listen, there are lots and lots of reasons. Okay, firstly, let's not even get into drivers. One major aspect why we lose so many lives in India is also many places you do not have enough tertiary.
All right, Mr. Kushan Mitra seems to have some network issue there. We'll, of course, reconnect with him. But Shailesh, the point that we were talking about, is this a systematic collapse now? Because Mr. Gadkari himself admits that poor detailed project reports, the DPRs are poor in quality. And the problem here is that this is a sitting union minister. If the DPRs are of not good quality, then what is he doing about it? What's the government doing about it?
Absolutely. Government is practically doing nothing, what I have been seeing, because in 2016 or 2014, there was a message across the globe that India would be seeing a 50%, downfall towards the road accident deaths by 2020. And we are already, 5 years, almost 5 years down to that 2020. So we have not gone 50% down. We have increased by about 20-25%. The point is the government, the system, it's lacking in terms of road hygiene. I always call it road hygiene because end of the day, it's our lives. So vehicle is a weapon if not used right, and everyone is using it in a wrong way because they have not been taught how to use it. We have fabulous highways. We have, high speed stretches. But where are the information, where are the system in which a driver is told that yes, you have to stop now? There has to be a proper enforcement of law. There has to be proper vigilance by the government system that if the cars are overspeeding, there has to be certain kind of check in which the driver is also not getting disturbed, plus he is in the safe zone. Because what India is saying, India is not seeing just crashes. India is seeing high intensity crashes in which 5 people, 6 people, 7 people are killing at just like that. So we need to wake up to this. End of the day, it's lives, it's dreams, everything is vanishing, and these stats are only, saying that we are not able to do it because of XYZ reasons. Environment is not there, environment is not right, education is not right. The person who is driving that machine is not skilled. He is not taught that if you are feeling fatigued, stop the car. Do not, exaggerate your energies towards which is not allowing, which your body is not allowing. So it's a conglomerative. It's a group effort which is seeing India seeing so many of accidents and deaths. So it's all about a point where government is lacking in terms of bringing in right enforcement towards safety of commuter. 1.78 lakh is not a small number. If our show would go for 1 hour, around 20 people would be losing their lives on the road, and we would just be talking. You're getting my point? 500, almost 500 people per day. Do you think this is a small number? This is a huge number. And what are we doing? We are just talking. You're having road safety weeks, road safety days. Some traffic police people are standing with the banners. What are you doing?
But Mr. Shailesh Sinha, our job is to raise the issue. We are raising the issue. But the person responsible there sits and says, Mr. Gadkari, who's responsible today, says 40,000 crore rupees are being spent on fixing black spots on.
See the record.
One second, Mr. Sinha. Let me put across what the union minister is saying, because that's the official number that we have. 40,000 crore rupees is being spent on fixing the black spots on highways. He says Bharat NCAP has also come in, which is making the roads safer. But the problem today is that most of the measures that are taken seem like just aesthetic, decorative measures. No real change is being seen on the ground, because while the tolls, the taxes continue to rise, the safety is just going down the drain.
Absolutely. I mean, see, I'll tell you, there are 3 points what I always been saying to people. Dikhawat, banawat and sajawat. We are focusing in these three windows, dikhawat, banawat and sajawat. Practically these sajawats, these banawats would work for India, but you need to be more practical in your approach towards, bringing safer roads for the people, training people. It has to be a mandate of every driver, for every driver, that he is skilled for certain XYZ roads, because we have been, growing up in a cramped road zone where speeds have been 30, 35, 40, 45, right? And lately we are seeing roads which are 100 plus in speeds, right? So we practically are not able to,
But
adapt
Mr.
also in
Sinha,
those situations, and
how
we
do we
get
only
carried
blame the
away.
government
So
here? For
these
example,
practical
there's one more
points,
data.
emotional points.
Mr. Sinha, there's one more data. Let me quote it.
No. I'm coming to that point.
There's one more
Yes,
data.
I'm coming to that point
30,000
only.
deaths every single year is
60%.
only
Tell
because
me.
of improper helmet
Yeah.
use. Now, the problem is, if a rider is not wearing helmet properly, what does the government do? I mean, we can blame the
I'm
government for
coming to that
bad
point.
roads. We can
Yes.
blame them for not giving enough infrastructure. But the
Yes.
problem is,
I'm
if
coming to that
30,000
point.
people in India die because of not
No.
wearing a proper helmet, at the end of the day, they also are accountable. The people also need to learn that helmet is not just for avoiding fines, it's also for saving a life.
That is what I'm saying. I mean, I was coming to that point only. 60% of road accidents happens because of irresponsible behavior by the commuter. He can be a pedestrian, a cyclist, a two-wheeler rider, or even a car driver, right? So 60% of the chunk goes to the irresponsibility of the commuter, of the, person who is using the road with his vehicle. The point is, yes, but 40% is also there, which comes in the account of the government. But that 60% can be brought down by good education system. This is what I have always been saying. Why can't we train people that a vehicle is like a weapon if not used right? The way we take license to use a pistol, same way we take license to use a vehicle on the road. That simply means it is dangerous for life. So why can't we be more, open to the idea of educating more people? Why can't we be open to the idea of bringing it as a life skill? Right? Accident, I mean, it is vanishing of dreams. India also loses GDP on that. So why can't we be more serious? Government can also bring those helmet situations.
Right, we'll be talking more about that, but let me also get a point from Kushan Mitra, who joins us back right now. Mr. Kushan Mitra, we are of course talking here about everything that the government has to do to ensure that people do not die on the roads, and the fatalities on roads are also brought down. But the problem here is when 30,000 people in a country die because of improper helmet use, what more can the government do? I mean, it's the basic responsibility of a person who's taking a two-wheeler out to wear helmets properly. So clearly, it's not just the fault of the government, but also the basic sense, the road safety sense that one needs to have, that also is lacking in India. We lack lane discipline, we lack discipline about a lot of other things when it comes to safety. And also at the end of the day, a lot of people that you see driving, you wonder how the person even got a license.
Listen, I'm not going to get into the licensing aspect. Many people have licenses, but you're absolutely correct about helmets. There is a political organization, there's a movement in a city like Pune, one of the top cities in India, where people are protesting against helmet usage. A vast majority of those who die on Indian roads are two-wheeler users, both riders as well as pillions, who die. And if you look at the statistics that are released every year by the Ministry of Road Transportation and Highways, you will see that many of them are not wearing helmets. I don't know what you can do for this, but as I was telling you earlier before I got disconnected, I'm very sorry about that, was that I think the government really needs to work on improving medical facilities, because a lot of fatalities can be prevented if people are taken to hospital within the golden hour. You've heard of the golden hour. People have accidents. Many people who die needlessly because they bleed out, because they broke, because they've had spinal injuries and they're handicapped for life. They may not even die. They could have, because you're not being transported to hospital in time. You do not have enough tertiary care centers for serious injuries. Accidents, as I said, happen all over the world. The percentage of accidents in India isn't that much higher. Just the percentage of deaths is higher. And a large part of that is to do with things like not having right, ambulances. You don't have life support ambulances. Do you know that on every different expressway in India, the concessionaire has to run their own ambulance and there is no uniform emergency number?
Absolutely. Kushan, this seems to be a systematic issue, and I think that's exactly what Shailesh was also pointing out, that we cannot really point at one thing that's going wrong that needs to be fixed. It's not like there's one part of the body that has an issue. It's the entire body that has a paralysis that needs to be fixed as well. And this, again, will take a systematic, some sort of a solution that needs to be brought out. And the union minister is the one that has to do it. And unfortunately, today he sits there and says that he feels embarrassed while talking about India's road safety standards. And in fact, he gave this exclusive, reaction at the India Economic Conclave. Before we continue the discussion, let's listen in to what Gadkari had to say.
इम्पोर्टेंट चीज जो है कि ह्यूमन बिहेवियर जो है कि रेल सिग्नल लगना तो रुकना चाहिए, गाड़ी चलाते हुए मोबाइल पे बात नहीं करनी चाहिए। देखो, मुझे इस बात का दुख भी है, दर्द भी है। 30,000 लोग हेलमेट नहीं पहनते, इसके लिए मर रहे हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि कानून के प्रति डर भी नहीं और सम्मान भी नहीं, ये हमारी समस्या है। 10 साल में मैंने सिंसियरली कोशिश की, पर मुझे कम करने के बजाय 1.5 लाख से 1,78,000 डेथ हो गई। इस विषय ऐसा है कि जिसमें हमें सफलता नहीं मिल पाई, यानी ये स्वीकार करने में भी मुझे कोई संकोच नहीं होता, पर और कोशिश करेंगे और लोगों के पास जाएंगे, यही उपाय है उसके ऊपर।
Kushan Mitra, you just heard Gadkari there talking about how he feels embarrassed talking about India's road safety standards. Now, who does he blame? It's himself. I mean, it's not like we don't have the money to fix the issues. We have the money to fix this issue. Of course, the mindset has to change as far as road users in India are concerned. But again, at the end of the day, when you look at the condition of the roads, even a person who's well-trained, even a Formula One driver, if you give him a two-wheeler, will struggle to drive in India. And again, these are the videos that go on social media and people say India is not for beginners. But the problem is, the roads are bad, and if the roads are good, the drivers are bad.
Everything comes together over here. I'll give you an example. If you live in Delhi, you know the Mulchand flyover at Central School. Over there, there's something called crossing traffic. The road design itself, the traffic flow design is wrong. I can carry on and on about reasons. Who do you blame? What happened at Dehradun when I was speaking to your colleague a couple of weeks ago? 7 kids died. They got drunk and they were in a car. I mean, you should have better sense than that. Now, Gadkari ji is right. Your other guest is also right. There needs to be enforcement. But you know, the police very often turn a blind eye. They're using automation as much as you can. Now, I drive some of the most modern cars in the world. I mean, I'm changing cars all the time. And some of the new cars have advanced driver assistance systems, which will help in reducing collisions. They're coming onto newer and even more affordable cars now. You're getting them in mass market cars. And these technology features will help. But at the same time, driving a car is a sense of freedom, right? Do you want the government to become a nanny state? Do you want the government to regulate everything? And I don't know. I mean, do you want that? You also want to go out there and drive on the open road. But yes, you should have your own common sense. You should know that, okay, I should not drive when tired. I should not drive when drunk. I should ride a motorcycle or scooter wearing a helmet. And these are the things we must do. And also improve our healthcare facilities for accident victims. Make sure that they're taken to hospital in the right amount of time. Everything has to be done. You have to throw a lot of money into this problem. And as your other guests also mentioned, yes, education as well. Driving is a life skill. Everybody will be driving, and you must teach driving in high school, in your senior secondary school, class 11, class 12.
Absolutely, Kushan Mitra. A lot of issues that we can talk about tonight. Unfortunately, we don't really have too much time on the broadcast. We can, of course, have this discussion yet again, depending on how the time permits. But meanwhile, very interesting points that you brought out about how it's not just bad engineering, it's not just bad traffic skills and driving skills of Indian users, but also it's the government that also needs to take the responsibility of fixing the issue. And again, it's a systematic issue that needs to be fixed and something that all the stakeholders need to come together and fix as well. Really appreciate you, Shailesh ji, for joining us, and Kushan Mitra as well for bringing your insights on the show. In fact, viewers, that's it as far as this discussion is concerned. But meanwhile,